Viola Bennet. Chapter 9. Celebration of Life in the Serengeti. The day of departure arrived in the blink of an eye. The three young adventurers drove to a small airstrip skirting the Serengeti, where a light utility helicopter awaited to carry them deep into the heart of the national park.
"The helicopter looks unusual,"
Viola said, noticing the Castile, Javier's family crest painted on its side.
"Yes, it's a custom design from my family's aerospace plant, one of our proudest models. It's about 20 years old, older than me,"
Javier said with a laugh.
"It's amazing,"
Viola said. Javier's friend Carlos, an experienced pilot, handled the helicopter with practiced ease, keeping it steady beneath the endless blue. Javier sat beside him as co-pilot, while Viola took the rear window seat. Above them, the endless azure; below, the boundless expanse of the Serengeti plains. The earth unfurled like an ancient scroll bearing a slow-moving epic history, parched, scorching, and perpetually moving.
"This is going to be incredible,"
Javier shouted over the rotor noise, his voice filled with electrifying anticipation. Viola nodded, her gaze sweeping across the vast landscape below. The golden savanna of the dry season rippled in the breeze like a living sea. Hundreds of thousands of wildebeest, zebra, and gazelles poured endless from the far horizon, a slow but relentless river of life. They were migrating toward richer pastures and vital water sources, a path etched into their blood and instinct by generations. They sought survival, hope, and the chance for the next season's renewal. At the edge of the Mara River, nature's other darker rhythm stirred silently. Crocodiles with their cold moss-green eyes lay hidden in the muddy banks. Among the dappled shadows of the trees, lions and cheetah held their breath in the yellowed grass, waiting for the most vulnerable, most hesitant moment. They were the hunters, essential cogs in the ecosystem, watching their inevitable prey. Sitting inside the humming helicopter, the primal cries and desperate breathing from below were muffled by the roar of the rotor blades. The migration was both a tragic ballad of life's struggle and a powerful anthem of its enduring cycle. Javier, holding his long-lens camera, rapidly adjusted the focus with swift precision, capturing each fleeting dramatic moment.
"Nature's composition is always perfect,"
he murmured, clicking the shutter. From their aerial vantage, they witnessed a cheetah's chase, the cheetah and the gazelle soaring through the air for a perfect, elegant second, which instantly dissolved into the brutal finality of life and death. They also saw individuals who had stumbled, who were bleeding, rise again and move forward under the cover of the herd. Ahead, there was still the savanna, the wind, and the next turn of fate. Suddenly, Viola spotted a mother wildebeest in the middle of the torrent, using her body to shield her unweaned little wildebeest. The tiny figure bobbed precariously in the fast current, clinging tightly to its mother's side. The little wildebeest trembling, pausing for a heartbeat, then leaping into the turbulent water. Nearby, crocodiles lurked in the shadows. The mother stayed close, shielding it with her body, uttering low cries that seemed to say, "Hold on, child." The little wildebeest paddled furiously, its eyes full of the desperate will to live and dependence on its mother. The sunlight pierced the water, illuminating its struggling form and the resolute faces of the countless herd mates who had waited or made it to the opposite bank.
"Run! Run, be strong, baby, you can do it!"
Viola shouted involuntarily, her voice choked with emotion, even though her words were swallowed by the roar of the river. Javier swiftly pivoted his camera, capturing the poignant moment, and quickly snagged a spontaneous shot of Viola's intensely moving expression as well. When the wet wildebeest calf finally clambered up and pressed close to its mother, the entire plain seemed to hold its breath for this moment of miracle. This was no mere journey, it was an epic written by the earth, a symphony scored with flesh and blood. Every hesitant step onto the river flow, every defiant roar, every look of parental protection became notes in this epic symphony of life. Looking down, they felt as though the river of time itself was flowing beneath them. The Mara's churning waters seemed to carry the weight of generations, each ripple a story of survival. The futures of those struggling lives were unknown. Some would reach the fertile oasis, others would remain forever in the Mara's fierce currents. But at this moment, their hooves walked the paths of their ancestors, their eyes reflected the light of the distance, and their hearts burned with an unquenchable hope. This was a pilgrimage summoned by the earth itself.
This is breathtaking, like a symphony of life itself. But, will they make it back?
Javier turned, his smiling eyes gazing gently at Viola's questioning face.
Yes, when the rains return next year, they will embark on this ancient path again. They will cross the Mara, dodge the crocodiles and the lions, and struggle forward. They will birth their new calves in the green pastures, and once again, they will return to their rainy season home.
Javier's lips curved into a gentle smile. Viola felt a flicker of hope reflected beneath his long lashes. This was the Great Migration, a magnificent movement of return continuation and the cycle of life and death, written into the very fabric of time. As the helicopter flew on, the landscape grew even more immense. Massive animal columns merged from every corner, the wildebeest crossing the river in a chaotic surge. The water rippled far below, the Mara churned and surged, each ripple a pulse in the living masterpiece of the migration.
This is nothing short of a miracle.
A gift from the heavens.
Javier murmured, lifting his head from behind the camera. His eyes lingered on Viola with quiet intensity.
Whenever I fly, whenever I capture these moments, I feel truly part of this world.
Viola nodded softly, without a word. As the light softened, they decided it was time to head back. The setting sun cast a golden glow over the savanna, painting the grasses and distant trees in fiery shades of amber and crimson. "Let's have a picnic at the camp tonight," Carlos suggested with a grin. "Okay." Viola and Javier replied together, their smiles meeting in a brief, shared spark of delight. Sunset over the savanna, a simple picnic and the company of kindred spirits. What more could one wish for? They carefully unloaded the folding table chairs and baskets of food and drinks from the helicopter, setting everything on a meadow kissed by the setting sun. The fading sun bathed them in a gentle warmth soft on their skin, as a quiet calm settled over the plains. They shared the thrilling moments from their aerial shoot, discussing their dreams and their respective artistic passions. Viola's gaze occasionally drifted to the vast plains. Far from the heart of the migration, the once tumultuous hoofprints and trampled grasses now rested silently beneath the sunset's glow. The great pulsing torrent felt like a colossal piece of music that had just ended, leaving behind an awe and quiet joy in their hearts.
Thank you, Javier. Thank you for showing me this magnificent miracle of life.
I'm just happy to share it with you.
Javier said softly, his gaze lingering on Viola with quiet warmth. Viola picked up her ukulele, almost absent-mindedly strummed a few soft chords, hummed a small song. Her voice wide and clear, effortlessly filling the vast space.
If you run where the wind runs free, and you dance where the silence ignites, if you gaze as the cosmos dreams wide, always remember the light. If you love with an open mind and sing with a fearless voice, the world will bloom in your embrace, with courage, mind, and tender grace. If you love the way the river flows and follow the path wild hearts approve, you will meet someone whose fire reflects your own. Though no map, no rules, you'll fear nothing above. So love life with all your heart. Life becomes what your heart imparts. So love life with all your heart. Life becomes what your heart imparts. What your heart imparts. So love life with all your heart. Life becomes what your heart imparts.
Viola's singing flowed with a wide velvety range, soft and captivating, like the wind sweeping across the grass, each note lingering in the evening air. Her wild heart and nascent love unfolded in the melody. The last rays of the sunset painted her profile with gold. Gradually, the sky deepened, the grassland shifting from waves of amber light to the serene indigo of approaching night. Javier was utterly fascinated by her song. His heart rate quickened, his gaze locked on her, every glance absorbing the light around her, unable to look away. "Wow," he whispered, his voice hoarse. It was incredible to hear such a beautiful melody, such touching lyrics, from such a stunning girl in this vast wilderness. Javier was enchanted, the surrounding landscape blurring until only her silhouette remained in his vision. Carlos applauded and smiled, sensing the shift in the atmosphere, and stood up. "I'll just grab some more food, you guys stay put." As Carlos walked away, Viola and Javier smiled at each other, their eyes exchanging a beautiful unspoken sentiment.
Life will become what you love, right?
Viola asked softly, her gaze expectant and warm.
It will.
Javier nodded, his eyes shining with deep affection. He looked at Viola's innocent, hopeful smile and continued.
Though life isn't always perfect, it takes the shape we give it. Like those migrating animals, they shape life with courage and endurance. Like your song, which gives me warmth and strength. And like how I feel right now. It's a kind of beauty I've never known before, a living, breathing kind.
His cheeks flushed as he leaned toward her, the intensity of the moment leaving little room for hesitation. Viola froze, watching Javier's ardent eyes and handsome face drawing closer. A wild, unfamiliar current of excitement surged through her. She was breathless with anticipation, yet held back by the awkward timidity of youth. She pulled back slightly, but didn't completely retreat. Javier's gaze was sincere and burning. He reached out, taking her hand gently, his fingers trembling slightly.
Viola, I want you to know how grateful I am that you're here,
he said in a low, magnetic voice. She was melted by the warmth of his hand and the sincerity in his eyes. Instead of pulling away, she squeezed his hand back nervously, trying to use his warmth to steady herself.
I'm grateful too. And I'd really love to see those photos you captured. They must be incredible,
she requested softly, finding a gentle way to buffer the sudden intensity. Javier instantly reacted, the intimate moment still lingered in the air. Feeling the softness and tension in her hand only accelerated his heart rate. He quickly picked up his camera, pulling her closer so their shoulders touched, and began reviewing the day's photographs. Each stunning frame, each image of the migration's powerful struggle, reaffirmed the raw strength of life.
Wow, this is truly an anthem for life,
Viola exclaimed again, her face close to his arm, enveloped by his warm sun-kissed scent. They paused at the photo of the young wildebeest leaping into the river. Viola's chest tightened, remembering the tiny creature's trembling courage and the mother's steadfast protection. The sunlight caught the calf-soaked fur in the image, and she felt the raw pulse of life, fragile yet unyielding, surge through her.
Oh, this photo, Javier. I will never forget this moment, this brave little wildebeest.
Yeah, it's really touching. Beauty of life is never a given. It is a persistent, uncompromising rebirth written into destiny.
Javier's eyes softened.
I couldn't agree more.
Viola nodded thoughtfully. Night descended softly, the grassland transitioning from golden waves to deep blue stillness. Stars ignited one by one overhead, and the vast Milky Way stretched across the sky like a brilliant river. The wind calmed, only the fire crackled softly, mirroring the persistent flutter in their hearts, an expansive peace settling over them after the day's drama. Viola and Javier sat side by side, their arms and shoulders pressed tightly together. The image of the little wildebeest still resonated within her, the trembling determination, the courage found in reliance. It was the yearning for the beyond that all life shares, the hope of racing toward the unknown.
Perhaps every flutter of feeling is like a small leap into the unknown, a river we must cross. Maybe we too must leap into that torrent on our own, at some moment in our lives.
Javier nodded, turning to look at her. His gaze was as deep as the starry sky above, filled with both philosophical depth and undeniable longing. The wind moved her hair. His hand, which had been holding hers, lifted slightly. He softly brushed a stray curl back from her forehead, the faint pressure sending a spark through her. Viola closed her eyes for a moment, letting the warmth of his touch bloom quietly inside her. A spark from the campfire drifted into the dark, and Viola whispered,
If life becomes what I love, then I want to love all of it. Every storm, every quiet hour. I want to find myself in every migration. And someday, find the one who would cross every river with me.
Then her gaze lifted, meeting his. Javier's breath caught. Something fierce and tender surged inside him. He couldn't keep the distance anymore. He drew her into his arms, holding her with a warmth that felt like shelter.
Viola, then let me be that person.
His voice trembled with honesty.
For every river you cross, for every storm you weather, I want to be beside you. That's the truth I've been trying to say.
The fire crackled softly between them as if sealing the vow. They stepped together into a journey filled with the unknown, yet they looked up at the same stars, the stars that had seen countless wanderers before them. But this moment felt like a quiet miracle, one that made them braver than they had ever been. and one in which they lit the path for each other.